All right, we are recording now. So my name is Tyler Stillman. I am the instructor for this class. I also have on this call Cassie Chang and Sarah. What is your last name?
Dabrinsky.
Sarah Dabrinsky. So why don't you two introduce yourselves?
Yeah, I'm Sarah Dabrinsky. I'm with Cedar Rose Estate. I'm in charge of sales and operations. And at this moment, a little bit of marketing. So we'll get into that later.
And I am Cassie Chang, SUU alum, so go T-Birds. And I am just here to, as a alumni, to kind of provide a little bit of insight since I have been through this with Mr. Stillman a time or two back in the day. And yeah, I'm excited.
Cassie was the marketing student of the year, whatever year it was you graduated.
Like 2014, 13?
That's the one. All right, so the project will be a video that is 4 to 6 minutes long. And the main thing that that Sarah and her team are after is recommendations for segmenting and targeting. And they have currently kind of two main groups in mind for their property. Weddings and corporate events are kind of the two main ones. So your first thing is to determine if they should focus more on weddings or corporate events, and then provide a good answer to why and how. So why is it if you choose weddings or corporate events, or maybe you think they should pursue both equally, you need to have a good explanation for why, and then how. How is it that they will, what's an effective way for them to target the group that you have in mind narrowly? And as part of that, they'd like to see a sample post or advertisement. Sarah, what are we missing here?
So to add to this, we already do have some materials. We have some marketing materials that we use at wedding expos and digitally with social media. We have a blog, on our website that helps with our SEO and the Google search. We have currently, and it sounds like those will be provided for you, but we have a big brochure, that explains everything and everything that comes with a rental with our property. We also have smaller flyers for handing out at things like expos. We have, I have a social media person that helps take the photos that we do have, and she has a social media plan on Instagram. We're not heavy on Facebook. We kind of cross post a little bit, but those are some of the assets that we have right now. But we don't have a marketing team behind us right now, just the social media lady that's helping me. So we are looking for, some new fresh ideas, and then maybe, some help with that in the future also, and looking for somebody to help us with that. We can also do, if this is the time to mention it, right? But we can do some private tours for anybody who wants to, in this class, come and tour the property and take some photos, or just come see what we have to offer in general. And you can do that by going to the website. You can set up a tour that will be linked to my calendar, and I can meet you in person at the property. We are in Parowan, so from St. George, it's about an hour, right? But it would be really good to see firsthand, to see what we have, and then, to market it like you guys are coming up with. I think that.
Thank you. And so big picture, it's what we're imagining is that your group, think of yourself as marketing consultants, and you've been brought in to figure out, you've got this incredible asset, this unbelievably beautiful property. How are you going to use it? In terms of who are you going to contact, and how are you going to contact them? Cassie, any thoughts before we move on to the next topic?
Yeah, definitely. So this is a huge property. It sleeps, Sarah, was it like, it has like 90 something beds or something crazy like that. So this is not like your typical Airbnb or renting out a barn for a wedding. This is a big deal. The property is absolutely beautiful. And if you guys can get out there and check it out, I would highly, highly suggest doing so. They're actually, right now, they're building a pond that will be open at some point, a swimming pond. It has a little dock. It's absolutely beautiful. They work with a company that rents out ATVs in the summer and other things like that. So they have so many, how many, 12 acres or something like that, or
20 acres and 61 beds.
61
Yes.
beds. I knew
Lots
it
of
was
them.
a lot. That was way more than 60, but yeah, so it's big. So I would definitely say think outside the box with this one. We're semi close to, Las Vegas and Salt Lake and places where you're going to find big groups of people that want to come out and explore the middle of nowhere, essentially. I mean, it's in the woods, it's in the mountains, and it's awesome. So definitely get out there and think outside the box, kind of try to figure out where do these people hang out? Where are they at? So yeah, get out there, guys. I'd say go out and check out the property.
Oh yeah, and then I forgot to mention, we are attending another bridal expo at the end of April. So potentially we could use some of this material at that actual expo, which is really exciting to use it, very soon after this project is completed. And I did forget about the ATVs and the horses, so thank you for bringing that up.
Right on. Okay. So the first thing is recommendations for segmenting and targeting. Second part of the assignment, review current marketing assets, strengths and weaknesses. So in your files in Canvas, you will have their current marketing assets for you to look over. There's a chance they might reshoot some of their marketing assets. And so if there are things that they've mentioned or things that you think they should have in their marketing materials that aren't there, that is where you would want to focus that. So what to add there?
We have definitely had photo shoots before where we have, models come out and we have, florists donate flowers and we have photographers. So we can certainly, while you're thinking big, like Cassie said, right, we could put on another photo shoot like that if that's something you feel that we need to do if you're the winning group. So the sky's kind of the limit. I tell guests all the time, your potential clients, that we're a blank slate. You can really think outside the box. We're kind of like we're kind of remote, but also in destination, but within driving distance, right? So if you're coming from Vegas or even flying into Vegas or Salt Lake, that's one thing I try to sell to, that we're private, but and kind of exclusive though, because we have a massage room, right? So they can bring a massage therapist on site, or they can get catering, or they can cook by themselves and they can cook with 100 of their family members. So we can capture any of that in a new photo shoot if that's what we feel needs to happen.
And they have not been around for a super long time. So when she says it's a blank slate, it's a blank slate. So that's
I'm
exciting.
curious, and maybe so you've targeted so far to this point mostly Las Vegas and Salt Lake.
Mostly Las Vegas and California. We've learned, and this could be wrong, but we've learned up north in the Salt Lake area, we have a lot of competition with reception barns like this. I do know that our house that can sleep over 100 is very unique to the situation. In weddings, family reunions, or anything, no matter what they're planning. We're one of the largest Airbnbs across the country. So that's another selling point that I like to point out, that we're different. We're kind of like a hotel buyout, but you get to cook and, eat together. And it's just a more kind of inclusive but intimate weekend or week, or however you want to do it. So that's what I like to say. But again, that's just another point that our old marketing team wanted us to focus on, right? So that is what differentiates us between some of the other wedding venues or hotel areas or something. But I think that's another reason why I'm excited about this, right? Because we could, not necessarily a whole different angle, but we could either use that or refresh that, or, target the right people using the right verbiage and, selling selling what's unique about us.
It seems like potentially one of those things might be international targeting, that there could be some nationalities or that where this kind of retreat would be or vacation would be perfect.
Mhm. Yep. Church retreats, we've had church retreats, corporate retreats. We're hosting a photography retreat coming up in the summer. So again, blank slate, the sky's the limit. It's just an amazing property to be able to do a lot of different things I don't think you can do in other places.
Great. All right. So recommendations for segmenting and targeting, review of current marketing assets, and then the last thing is describe one concept from either of your books that might help them in their marketing. That is a very much a minor part of this project, and so keep that to under a minute. In terms of how to hand it in, submit through Canvas before April 13th. Make sure the video is visible and shareable. So, I mean, nothing to add to that really. Just make sure that all three of us will be able to view it when you submit it. And then in terms of grading criteria, the first thing is the value of the insights. Originality and creativity would be the second thing. Quality of presentation. So independent of how good your insights are, did you put together a presentation that looks professional and well constructed? And as I mentioned here, how to reach the target market is especially important. Sarah and Cassie, what do I need to add here?
I don't know. I feel like we touched on everything that seemed to be important.
I agree.
Okay.
Don't be boring. Maybe that's another point to make. Try not to be boring in your videos.
Just for everybody out there, Tyler Stillman said that to us as well back in the day. So like boring, he never has.
This is true. Okay, so it's be 20% of your final grade. You are going to view each other's projects, and then Cassie and Sarah and I will also review your project, and then the act of evaluating other projects will count towards your grade. You need to contribute in a meaningful way to your group. I will ask everyone in your group gets asked the same question, which is please make a list of everyone in your group who contributed in a meaningful way. If 2 or more people in your group leave you off that list of people who contributed in a meaningful way, then you get a bad grade, which is usually a 0. But I'm sure that will not be an issue with this group. So before we sign off, Sarah, big picture, what is it that you, well, we haven't talked about any prizes yet, have we? So what is it that they might hope to get in this project besides a good grade?
Yeah, so Cedar Rose Estate will give each member of the winning team $50. That's, I mean, obviously incentive in addition to the great grade, but you know, like I mentioned before too, we might be looking for someone to help us with some of these things in the future. So that's kind of incentive to, you know, get your foot in the door a little bit, but some kind of, you know, seasonal help. And then prizes. And then what was the other thing that you asked? The initial or like the overall big picture of what
Right,
we're
yeah,
looking for?
yeah.
So because we have only been up and running for about a year now, we know that our target market is not Cedar City, it's not Parowan. We are reaching out to St. George now. We need to expand to Bryan Head. We need more of a presence in Vegas probably. And again, I'm not a marketing person. You guys probably know better, but we need to get in front of couples and people and families that have the budget because we are a luxury facility, you know, Perspective, our all-inclusive package that includes everything, including, everything that you need for a wedding. 3 nights in the estate, the barn, and everything from flowers to an officiant, besides food and alcohol, that's $55,000. So, it's kind of we don't want to be a sticker shock to the wrong crowd, or waste time in a market that, can't necessarily afford that. We are on some online platforms, wedding platforms, event platforms, but one of those wasn't even working. So we are not investing in that anymore. So we are really taking this information from you guys and redirecting possibly where we're going to be marketing and how that looks in the future. So, again, I'm really excited about seeing your ideas, but we need help. Like we've said throughout this whole thing, figuring out, we know our target market, but how do we get in front of them? How do we become their choice of vendor and spending that much money for something this unique and different and exciting, really? So that's my thought.
Thank you. And Cassie, you were saying that your main interest is in the pleasure of giving out bad grades. Is that right?
I knew it.
I'm pretty sure, like, if you let me, I will be like, if you had me grade any of them, I'd just be tossing A's left and right. I don't even care who's on the list of goods and bads. Like, I'm tossing everybody an A. You're too hard to pass, Stillman. They need me to help them out.
Okay, well, if any of you pass, you'll know why.
You'll all do great. It would all be great.
So I'll include both of your contact information if that's okay, and they can reach out to you if they have any questions.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, yeah, those private tours, like I said, go to the website and set those up. It would be great to meet you in person, and or if you want to come and take some photos, that would be a great advantage.
Right on. Thanks, Sarah. Thanks, Cassie.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thank
students.
you. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. I'm excited.
Do we leave?